turn that off.
All right, we're recording. All right, we're back again for the second part of Football Next Generation Arsenal edition. We had the first part, and hopefully, we know we're gonna miss someone. There's so many good talents in the Arsenal team, in the Arsenal youth team, that we're bound to miss someone that someone likes. But I think we've had a fair crack at getting most of the top players there. What do you reckon, Jerome?
I think we've given it a go. We've done our best, and sometimes that's all you can ask.
That's all you can ask. Everyone loves a trier. Yeah, and we're trying. All right. So we've got quite a few tonight as well. Leading up to the North London derby on Sunday. It's a big one. Are you nervous?
I'm not. No, I don't. I think I'm not nervous because I'm not really expecting much. So sort of low expectations means that I'm not nervous at the moment. I reckon, once they kick off, I'm sure the nerves and the tension will set in, won't they? But at the moment, not feeling the nerves so much.
All right. So right now we can concentrate on the youth players, and it's a little less stressful and a little more enjoyable watching the youth at the moment. So what have you got for us tonight, Jerome?
And that's it. So we've got about 7 players tonight. Some of them Arsenal fans probably will have heard of and probably seen play, and some of them will probably have never seen any footage of them, probably never heard of them. But by all accounts, all of them are very highly rated within the academy setup, and hopefully we'll see some of them soon for the first team, whether it's later this season or in 2 or 3 seasons' time.
Yeah.
We've got a selection of different players today to go through.
Let's go.
Yeah. So the first one is a player that signed for the club in August from the Feyenoord Academy, where he'd been since he was 12, and that's a player called Salah Eddine.
Yeah.
Now he just goes by the name of Salah, which makes things a lot easier for
us.
us.
I've got a lot of time for that. Anyone that is happy enough to just have the one name it adds a bit of mystery to it. It adds a bit of stardom to it. So I'll buy into that.
Yeah, and I think Paul Merson probably likes that as well. The fact that he's only goes by that one name, lot easier for him to lot easier for him to say his
100%,
name.
100%.
Yeah, so he's one of these players that we probably might not see for a while. He's only 17. He's an attacking midfielder, and he actually left Feyenoord in the summer, mainly due to a bit of a falling out with the club.
Okay.
And that's when he joined Arsenal.
Do you know what the falling out was about?
I think it might have been to do with maybe some broken promises, but I'm not exactly sure what the promises were.
Okay.
Unfortunately. Now, he's already played for Arsenal under-23s, despite being just 17. And he's got a history of playing sort of above his age group. When he was 15, he played for Finals under-19s.
All right.
Yeah. Now, in terms of the sort of player he is, he's got that bit of creativity, that bit of spark in the centre of the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
He reminds me a little bit in terms of his stature and technique to Cazorla.
All right.
A little bit in terms of the way he manipulates and handles the ball.
Yeah.
Now, due to the fact that he's got a lot of, I guess, ability, he's one of those players that people might like to see play higher up the pitch, like maybe just behind the striker. But for me, looking at him, I like him playing a bit deeper, where he can get involved more. Because sometimes if you're playing just behind the striker, sometimes you might not get as many touches. But when Cazorla played for Arsenal, when he played in the midfield too with Coquelin, that's when he really had a big influence on the game. And the way this guy plays, that's how he sort of reminds me of him a little bit.
Where are they playing him?
I think they are playing him. They're playing him in midfield, but I think they're playing him slightly higher up. He is, when you search for him and you look at him, he is known as an attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where he's been more known to play. But just looking at him the way he plays, I think he could probably play sort of deeper as well. You know, sometimes these players over time, even players in the mid-20s, they end up maybe moving position slightly.
Sometimes you do want that more of a ball player midfielder in there. So, I mean, Arsenal right now need that, and that's what they've had over the years. So I mean, he's at the right club.
Yeah, no, exactly. So we'll now move on to a really highly rated player, someone that I like the look of a lot, and I think you might do as well. That's Miguel Azeez.
Yeah. He looks really good. Yeah,
looks great. So he's been training, or he's been with Arsenal, since he was 5 years old, and he's
How'd you get picked up at 5 years old? Like, where are you? Where are you at 5 years old that you get picked up by Arsenal? And what were you doing?
God knows. God knows where they get. I don't know whether they spot them playing for teams when they're that age, or
they must. What are they looking for? What are they looking for at 5 years old, though?
Yeah, well, you know what? I reckon when they're that age, they must really stand out, because it must be so hard to spot a player at that age.
Yeah, with the composure.
I guess. Look, when he was 5, you know, I'm sure he's a totally different player to what he is now. Like, I'm sure he's progressed over that time. But yeah, you're right. You know, to spot them, it'd be interesting to know what are they looking for at that age. You know, does he hold the ball up at age 5?
Yeah, no, we're gonna have to find a scout and ask him what it is they're looking for at that age.
Yeah. So Miguel Azeez, he actually signed his first pro contract last season. And I'm sure the Arsenal fans have seen he was on the bench against Mulder away last week. Yeah. He's one of those players that can dictate play from the centre of the park, and I think he plays with a bit of a swagger, but not in an arrogant way at all. If you know what I mean.
Very confident.
Yeah, confident. He's like, people used to describe, I think, Michael Carrick as this, he's like a Rolls Royce of a player, the way he plays. He's one of his idols is Busquets.
Yeah. It's and the thing is, the position that he plays as well is very much a Busquets kind of position. The way he takes up on the pitch, a little bit deeper as well.
Yeah. But he and also on the flip side of that, he also looks comfortable when he's near the edge of the box.
Yeah.
Whether it be playing people in or having shots, he looks very comfortable up there as well.
Yeah.
He has actually starred in an Adidas ad with Beckham for the Predators.
Oh, really?
The Predators that came out recently. Yeah. And a bit of something else that the fans might have noticed. I don't know if you saw it. He had to do his initiation last week against Mulder, and he got up, and I know you call me the voice on this show, but he has got one hell of a voice. He sang Rock With You by Michael Jackson in his initiation, and you can hear the players go, whoa. Yeah. Check out his initiation.
I'll have to look for it.
On YouTube, yeah. Miguel Azeez's initiation song. I think Eddie Nketiah put it up on his Instagram.
Oh, quality.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if he's involved tonight for Arsenal. I haven't seen yet, but you know, he's already been involved in the first team, training with them regularly. Yeah,
and he was actually in the Olympiacos squad last season when we lost in the Europa League. He was called up into that, and just previous before that, he was training with the first team as well. So he's very highly rated with Mikel Arteta, and the fact that he's only 17 and he's already training with the first team and he's in and amongst it, it says a lot for his future, man. He does look good. He looks very, very composed on the ball. Gets across the pitch quite easily. Good range of passing. Yeah, very good player.
Yeah, quality. So now we'll go on to another player that's sort of in and around the first team and actually scored his first goal last week, and that's following Balogun.
Yeah.
The 19-year-old striker.
Eagerly awaited. Everyone, not the goal as such, but just seeing him play. It's just one of them players that, because even when I was younger, when you hear of a player coming for the youth ranks, you keep an eye on him, you hear about his records, and you just want to see how he plays in the first team. And as you said, he scored in his debut. He scored in his debut. Well, he came on a couple of weeks before that, or a week before that, but he came on last week and scored his first goal. So it's really good.
I think it was his second touch. He slightly, I wouldn't say he mishit it, but it wasn't the cleanest of strikes.
It wasn't. But I mean, if you was to go through all of his goals from last season, and he scored a lot of goals, I reckon a fair few of them would have been a very similar kind of thing.
Yeah,
he knows where the net is. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, like I think we've said before, his goal scoring record at youth level. I don't know if it's as good as a goal a game, but it's not a million miles off.
No, and he's got a very good assist record as well. That's as well. He's very good team player.
Yeah. So he was actually born in New York, but he moved to England when he was 2 years old, and so he plays for like the England youth teams. Now, slightly different to Azeez, and this has been in the press as well. He's yet to sign a contract with Arsenal. His current deal actually expires at the end of this season.
Yes.
So all the fans are hoping that he puts pen to paper and signs.
Yeah, well, we have been told that he is due or set to sign a 4-year deal. A 4-year deal is on the table, and I think more confirmation with that was last week when Mikel Arteta said he wants to stay. We want him to stay. He done well with all the speculation previously, so and it looks like something will get done. He looks happy there, so I think it will get done.
Yeah, he's tweeting out things as well, like more to come, and all the signs are there that he will sign.
The hourglass and stuff like that. So as a striker, the way I look at it, I think he sort of likes to play on the shoulder of the last guy. And sort of make runs, like constantly making runs. Yeah.
And I think I sort of compare him with Nketiah because obviously Nketiah is slightly older, but they're both going for that sort of central striking role. And if you were to compare the two, I would say that obviously Eddie's got more experience, goes without saying. But I think Balogun is more powerful. He's more explosive. He's probably more of a presence. Yeah. Probably just as clinical as Eddie, because obviously Eddie's a pretty good finisher.
Yeah.
But there's not really much to separate them, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think Eddie's a very good player, but I think he's more of a goal scorer. I think Balogun's got more range in his game. I think he's got a higher ceiling, and that's nothing against Eddie and Nketiah. I just think they're different kind of strikers in the fact that Balogun's just got a bit more to his game. He plays a bit more outside the box as well. So that's why I think there's a lot of excitement about him.
Yeah. So we'll move on now to one of the youngsters who's actually just turned 17, and that's a guy called Charlie Patino.
Oh, there's a lot of talk about him, man.
Yeah, he's a central midfielder who joined Arsenal when he was 11 from Luton. And Wilshere is a player that also, I believe, joined Arsenal from Luton. And there's sort of been comparisons between the two.
Okay.
In terms of the way they play.
Yeah.
But a player that I think he's a bit more like, and that people have said there's more similarities, is with Phil Foda of Man City.
Yeah. I see that.
Yeah,
very technical. Yeah,
very technical. He has signed a professional contract with the club. That was only signed last month. So he's already trained with the first team, and apparently has really impressed Arteta. He's one of those footballers, I think, that's sort of naturally, I guess you call him like a naturally gifted footballer. He's got really good balance, seems to dominate a lot of the games that he's involved in. Very, very good at taking the ball under pressure on the half turn. A bit like what Wilshere used to do when he first broke into the team.
Yeah. Wilshere's problem was he maybe held the ball too long. And that wasn't to say that he lost it when he held it too long, but it would draw too many fouls. It would draw too many injuries. And where he's low centre of gravity, he's always getting his ankles just beaten up. So let's hope that Charlie Big Charlie,
Yeah.
is slightly different to that in that way.
Yeah. Another one as well. I think this is probably a thing with a lot of the Arsenal players, probably with youth players as well, is where they play above their age. And when he was 14, he actually captained England under 16s.
Wow.
And when he was, in the same year, when he was 14, he played for Arsenal under 18s.
All right, bloody hell.
Yeah, they really, they push them, don't they?
Yeah.
Push them a lot, yeah.
Yeah, if they've got the ability, I think obviously they feel that they can play at that level. Like, could you imagine being 18 and playing against a 14-year-old?
Yeah.
It's madness. It's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
back in the day, if you were playing 1 year above, that was a big thing.
Yeah, if you're playing 3-4 years above, like you're just getting chopped. Especially if you was running rings around the older lot, they would have just been slapped.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have happened. Not in my day.
Nah, that's it. That's it. So we'll now move on to a couple of young centre-backs that are out on loan at the moment. So playing for Arsenal, we haven't really seen a lot of them play definitely not in the. We haven't seen a lot of them play. So the first one is Daniel Ballard, who's actually a bit older than some of the other players we're talking about. So he's 21, centre back, and he's been with Arsenal for over 10 years. He's actually at the moment he's on loan at Blackpool until January.
Yeah,
and back in 2019 he had another loan as well at Swindon. But I believe due to injuries, he only actually made one appearance for them.
Okay.
So he didn't play a lot of football for them. So he was born in England, but his mother was born in Ireland. And despite the lack of sort of game time at senior level, he has actually played 5 matches for Northern Ireland.
Yeah. He played recently, didn't he?
Yeah, and he's been getting some good reviews as well. They played Austria in November last month, and he actually got voted like their man of the match in a couple of the reports, couple of the papers.
He done really well.
Yeah, he is. I would describe him as he's a bit of a unit. He's a no-nonsense, aggressive, solid centre back, and when you hear him speak, I like listening to him speak. He's really humble, down to earth. He speaks really well, and he's been putting in a few good performances for Blackpool.
Yeah. I've heard the same. I've heard that he's doing well for Blackpool. As you said, he got man of the match recently for Northern Ireland. I think he played in the game before that where he had a really good game. Kept one of the top striker really quiet in that game as well. Much hope for him in the Arsenal first team, maybe as a squad player, maybe.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, isn't it? I mean, Arsenal got so many centre backs at the moment.
Yeah.
But look, he's playing at international level. It's
that like Rob Holding kind of mould of a defender.
Yeah.
Every team needs one. Are you keeping Holding or are you bringing through Ballard? That's the question. And I think it is that every team has one. You don't rarely see one of the top teams having 2 or 3 of those bully kind of old school English kind of centre-backs.
Yeah. So the next centre-back is, I think, someone that's very similar to Ballard. And that's a player that goes by the name of Mark McGuinness.
Yes.
So he's a couple of years younger. He's 19. And again, he joined Arsenal when he was 10 years old. He's on loan at Ipswich in League One at the moment, and he's on loan for the full season.
Yeah.
Now he actually caught the eye of Ipswich by playing for Arsenal against them in an EFL game for the under 21 earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Again, born in London, but actually plays for the Republic of Ireland youth teams.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess another name that probably isn't, at the forefront of people's minds. One of the reasons might be last season he was injured a hell of a lot and didn't play a lot of games. However, some people might remember he played against MK Dons in the pre-season friendly earlier this season, and he scored a very powerful header from a Reece Nelson corner. It was an absolute bullet. I don't know if you've seen it.
I can't remember seeing that. I've seen a couple of his other performances though.
Yeah, it's one of those headers where he has to generate all the power with all his neck muscles. It's a really good.
And but he's that kind of player, isn't he? He's that kind of player that when he puts it in, he puts it in. When he puts in a tackle, it's a tackle. When he puts in a header, it's a header.
Yeah, he's a proper big physical presence.
He's a bully.
Like, honestly, like if you think Ballard's like a bit of a unit, this guy is like another level. Similar, but another level.
Yeah.
Slightly taller, and he's overall his reviews from Ipswich have been quite positive. I think he had one game where he didn't play so well, but that's going to happen.
He's 19, and it's not a bad league to ply your trade and get that experience in League One, especially at 19. I think a full season at Ipswich is doing really good.
Yeah, he's going to get tested, isn't he? Mm-hmm. He's going to get tested in all sorts of ways.
Yeah.
So, and one aspect of the game that apparently stands out for him is his reading of the game. For someone that's so young, apparently he's got a good reading of the game.
Yeah, like I noticed a couple of times in some of his games, like he not a couple of times. What he does is he likes to nip in front of the striker or the player and reads that ball first, gets in there, and then just see you later to the ground. Like with just his physical strength, it's just I mean, if he can hone because he's very rough around the edges, but if he can tidy up his play and just his general presence, I think you've got a decent player there, very decent player.
And I guess with these two centre backs, they're sort of competing, I guess, with the likes of Mavropanos, perhaps, who's maybe a little bit ahead of them.
Yeah.
There's just so many centre backs. I guess in the summer there'll be a few probably leaving.
Yeah, there will be.
They could get a chance.
And the thing is, there's still got plenty of time on their side. I mean, Daniel Ballard 21, McGuinness 19. They've still got. McGuinness has definitely got two seasons in the reserves or in the Premier League team, or even just going out on loan. And I'd probably say Ballard's probably got at least a season as well going out on loan before they can decide what they want to do with him. So. Yeah,
and you get the feeling as well with Arteta, like he's going to give people a chance.
Definitely. I mean,
just see how they are in training.
Yeah, just with the names you've reeled off there, how many of them are 17, 18, and they're training with the first team? I mean, that's what you want. That's what you want.
Yeah, that's it. The next player we'll move on to, we'll just give him a brief mention, only because he hasn't really played a lot for Arsenal so far. He's only clocked up a few minutes for the under-18s and under-23s, and that is a player that joined only in October from Ajax, a winger, 17 years old, and he's called Joel Idaho. He actually wasn't with Ajax for too long. He was at a club called Willem II before that.
Oh yeah,
and one of the reasons he left Ajax is he got frustrated with them because they didn't offer him pro terms. So he was not very patient.
Yeah. And, how old is he?
17.
Oh.
Only 17.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
That's it. So he's ambitious. You can't say he's not ambitious.
Yeah. He wants security. You got to rate that. Yeah.
So he plays on the wing. He looks like quite a raw winger. Very speedy.
Yeah.
There's a goal of his on YouTube where he's about 25-30 yards out and he's going through on goal and he chips the keeper like beautifully. Lovely finish.
He's got that Dutch technique, has he?
Yeah.
Love that.
So this is someone that he hasn't played a lot yet. He only joined maybe 6-7 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He'll probably play. I think he'll play a lot with the under-18s, maybe the odd sort of appearance for the under-23s.
All right.
So Now the final player that we'll talk about, he's not actually at Arsenal at the moment, but it looks as though Arsenal are going to sign him in January when the window opens.
Yeah.
And that is a centre-back called Omar Wreckick. He's going to be 19 this month.
Yeah.
He was born in Holland, but he's represented the Dutch and also the Tunisian youth teams.
Okay.
He's at Hertha Berlin at the moment, and they think the fee is going to be somewhere in the region of about £800,000. He's been mainly playing with Hertha Berlin's reserve team, But prior to that, he was also on the books of a few other clubs in Europe, PSV, Marseille, Man City as well, actually.
All right.
Yeah,
So
he's been there.
So he's a talent.
Yeah, he's seen a few stadiums.
Yeah,
He's seen European stadiums.
That's a lot of travelling for a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, if he's at Man
Mm.
City, you know they've got something. If you look at the list of Man City players that they've sold or released, it's a joke.
Yeah, they have monster players. Youth teams. So he's I guess he's been promised that he'll get to be training with the first team when he joins Arsenal.
Yeah.
So comparing him to the other centre backs, the centre backs we talked about earlier, Ballard and McGuinness, he seems more of a footballing centre back.
Yeah.
Someone that's very comfortable on the ball, tries a few different sort of skills to get away from players. Look, and it looks like he likes to get in the face of the attackers and commits himself quite a bit. If I had to compare him to players that we've seen before, I guess a mix of probably David Luiz and the centre back from Leicester, Soyuncu.
Okay.
Because Soyuncu's quite aggressive and
very
in your
aggressive.
face.
Yeah.
But David Luiz is like quite comfortable on the ball, so he's a mix of those two.
All right. That sounds like a good mix.
Yeah, and I guess if he's been promised to train with the first team, I mean, the chance is going to be there to impress, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not often. I mean, we've followed a lot of transfers, and one thing that Mikel Arteta has not really done, or from what we hear, is promise game time, promise anything. But I mean, if you're promising this youngster that he's going to be training with the first team at least, and he must be decent. He must have something about him.
Yeah. No, the clips of him look pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So who would you say you're looking forward to most see out of this lot then?
Good question. Well, I think at the moment most of them are slightly quite not far away, but they're just very young. So I don't think we'll see any of them soon. But who do I think's gonna? Who would I like to see play in a couple of years' time? I think I love the look of Miguel Azeez.
Yeah. I
really like the look. I think it's hard to watch him play and not like the way he plays.
Yeah, if he can transition that into the first team, I mean, yeah, he's a leader as well. So he's got a good head on him as well. He's I think he's been captain of all the youth teams, all the England teams that he's played in. So yeah.
So he's probably the standout one, but the one that's the one that people are making a fuss of as well is Charlie Patino.
Yeah,
I think
that bit of flair, that bit of swag. You want to see that. That's what Arsenal are about. Like that's what you want. So it's good to see they've got that. It's the DNA. When you talk about DNA of a club, that's what you want. You want that. Yes, we have the bullies in our team, but we always mix that with a bit of that sort of pizzazz. So yeah.
I'll tell you what's important. I think is that they, if they do put them into the first team, they only put them in like in an environment and at a stage of the season or in games when it's ready for them. Don't just chuck them in because I think the way Arsenal used to do it is they'd have maybe their 10 first team regular players experience, and then they'd give one of them a go and put them in them. Because if you chuck 2 or 3 of them in together at the same time, or they're not quite ready, it's it doesn't really might not work out for the best.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Don't put them in those games where you're going to get corned. You don't put them in games where it's like you said, there's 5 of them playing, or it's a game and you're short on players and you're sticking all them in a tough game. It's like it's just it's not.
Because let's be honest, it's so hard for these players to make it at Arsenal. So you've got to give them like best possible chance of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And don't just
against. Go on.
Yeah, I'll say don't just put them in for the sake of it. Put them in if you believe that they are ready and they can make a difference.
Yeah, you're right. Get them out on loan. Although the flip side of getting them out on loan is, are they being educated the way you want, and are they getting game time? So it's a tough one.
Some of these have been with Arsenal for 10 years, so they've been educated for 10 years at Arsenal.
Yeah, true. Very true. All right, Jerome, that's a good list. I don't know who we got next week. We have to pick another team at random. But yeah, that was a good one, man. Very good. All right. Make sure you catch us next week for the football's next generation. If you missed part 1, go and catch part 1. If we missed any players, we're sorry. We probably did. But there might be a part 3. There might be another one. There could be more.
The trilogy.
The trilogy. It has to have a trilogy. Look, basically, we're going to be catching up with all these players anyway. And if a player stands out at any time across the season, we'll give them a mention, talk about a goal they've scored, talk about a game they've played well in. This is what this is about. We're just going to keep tabs on all the best youth around Europe. And we're going to be going for the ones in the Premier League first. All right. Thank you very much for that, Jerome.
Cheers, Kieran.
All right. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you follow. And make sure you share the video. Stay safe and peace out.